Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dale Menyo. We'll be getting highlights today at midday from the Wayne County Fair. We'll be back to the fair today for the Axis Seed check presentation. You'll hear that audio tomorrow. They are trying to improve the internet at the Wayne County Fair, but it is still a struggle as far as getting the broadcast done, so we've improvised a little bit to make that happen. We'll be heading up to the Wyandotte County Fair on Thursday, and Dusty will be there on Friday, all thanks to the folks at Ag Credit. On Wednesday, we'll hear the latest from Ohio Corn and Wheat to find out how, with low prices, low demand, and high supply, we need to use trade as a way to sell corn. Today's weather brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Here's the forecast.
Warm and dry in the Buckeye State this week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. We'll look at your Ohio Ag weather update. I have no weather problems through pretty much all of this week. Low humidity here as we get started. I think we see temperatures warm up as we move through the week, but not really getting uncomfortable at all. Strong southwest flow dominates right on into the end of the week. We do have the remains of a tropical system that will come through the lower Mississippi River Valley and head toward the Boot Heel of Missouri, but for the most part, the biggest threat of precipitation stays south of the Ohio River through Saturday. We do see a little bit of instability on Sunday afternoon into early Monday, mostly western Ohio, not much of anywhere else, so keep an eye out for a few hit-and-miss showers there. Otherwise, we're back to dry weather for Monday afternoon, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. The only thing that we're seeing change in the pattern is a little bit more instability and activity over the western third of the country toward the end of next week. Next Wednesday, for example, we have a good area of low pressure coming through the Rockies and trying to move into the Great Plains, and plenty of moisture all the way back through the Pacific Northwest and West Coast. However, that's all we've got. Otherwise, a very, very dry 10-day to 2-week forecast window here. I'm meteorologist Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Matt recently attended the Morgan County Fair where they had a drought meeting. Here's his update.
I'm at the Morgan County Fair in the heart of the drought of 2024. I'm talking with Austin Wiseman. He's a cattle producer here in Morgan County. Austin, can you just briefly tell me about your operation?
Yes, we have a 250 mama cow-calf operation, and as well we finish cattle between 700 and 800 head. The drought's really worked on us, not only in the crop sector, but as well as the pasture sector. We do a lot of rotational grazing. So that is required more moving, typically 3-4 days. You move. Now we're moving 1 to 2 days. We've had to supplement a lot of hay, unrolling hay, just so everybody's got something to eat. We've pumped a lot of water. We haul water every day, about 6,000 gallons a day.
Where are you hauling that water from, and how do those logistics work out?
Actually, we're using city water now. We have a tap on one of the farms we're hauling from, and also where the main water plant is, just hauling it on trucks to wherever we need it.
How are you managing all that?
That's a good question. It's taken a lot. We've had to do a lot of changes. I've started feeding hay. We've supplemented some corn. There is one group we've started feeding a little bit of corn silage too, just to try to keep the body condition in place so that we can keep them in production, getting rebred, things like that.
How much rain have you guys been working with here through the growing season?
The month of August, we had 8/10 the entire month.
I've been talking with Austin Wiseman. He's in Morgan County dealing with the drought of 2024.
And thanks, Matt. Joining me from the Wayne County Fair is the Fair Board President, Terry Wood. Terry, nice to have you with us. What day of the fair? We're looking here Monday, so we're in day 3?
Yes.
What else is to come here at the Wayne County Fair?
We got the local tractor pull coming up at noon, and in the evening, our big entertainment will be Matthew West.
I always tell people you guys have an interesting setup for your stage because it's actually a couple semi-trailers welded together.
Yes.
So you can move the stage out and turn things over very quickly.
Right.
And that really makes it nice for the grandstand folks. You can watch something, and a few minutes later, we're ready to get into something else.
Correct.
And there was still a line at Lurch's Donuts, so they're still here.
Yep.
What are some of the other Wayne County Fair traditions?
All the 4-H livestock, the big one here, one of the largest junior fairs in the state.
I heard a few years ago that your horse show is actually bigger than the New York State Fair.
Could well be.
Well, there you go. That's a lot of fun. And you guys are actually a little greener up here. When I was coming up, now the pasture was still short with the cows on the pasture, but you were greener than a lot of the southern part of the state. So people are coming to the fair, but they're probably talking about dry harvest.
Yeah, I just live a little north of here, and I'm drier there than here in Worcester.
A couple weeks ago, you had your 175th year celebration.
Yes.
Big parade. That was a big deal, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I mean, we had like 169 participants in the parade. We got it off before the rain hit that day, which was a big plus.
Maybe we need to schedule that again so we get some more rain.
Yeah.
How many years you've been on Fair Board?
I think this is my 18th year.
Wow. How much has Fair changed over that?
Quite a bit. I mean, since then we took down some buildings and added the big event center and the hog barn, the barn we put our hogs in.
Yeah, it's really been something.
Yes.
When you look at big event center, it's like you can't hardly drive through and not see that from
Right.
the road. So, yeah, we're just off of 30. If you've ever come in east to west or west, you could see the fairgrounds there. But some years under adverse weather, that has a tendency to take on a lot of water.
A little bit.
Not this year.
Not this year so far. Hopefully.
We need a little moderation there, right?
Yeah, hopefully this year it rained on Friday, but before the fair, so hopefully it's out of its system.
What's it cost to get in?
Cost $4 to get in this fair.
I remember a few years ago, the Fair Board was apologizing. It may have been several as you flashed back and said, we're having to double our race to get in. I'm like, oh, mine. He goes, yeah, we're going from $1.50 to $3. So still $4 to get in. That's got to be one of the best opportunities to come spend a day.
Yeah, I mean, we're the cheapest fair in the state.
There you go. Least expensive.
Right.
Terry Wood, my guest, the president of the Wayne County Fair Board, as they celebrate 175 years. Come on out to the fair. Runs through Thursday. And USDA is forecasting 2024's net farm income at 4.4% lower than last year at $140 billion. That's a sharp reversal from USDA's February forecast, which called for a 25% decline in net farm income, the agency's broad way of measuring profits across the various ag sectors. Now, USDA's forecast net farm income at $140 billion, 4.4% less than 2023. It's above the average net farm income for 2004 to 2023 stretch. Net cash farm income, which accounts only for gross cash income minus cash expenses, is forecast to decline 7.2% from 23 to $154 billion. That's also up sharply from USDA's previous forecast. The agency updates its farm income forecast in the months of February, September, and December. Higher cash receipts for animals and animal products and substantially lower production costs, mostly in lower feed expenses, more than offset steep declines in cash receipts for grain growers. Most other income factors saw small adjustments from the previous forecast. Adjusting for inflation, the net farm income forecast is down 6.8% from last year, while the net cash farm income forecast is down 9.6%. Direct government payments are forecast to decline 15% from 2023 to $10.4 billion. These payments do not include crop insurance indemnity payments, but reflect farm bill programs and supplemental or ad hoc disaster assistance. Conservation payments from USDA's Farm Service Agency and Natural Resources Conservation Service are expected to total $4 billion in 2024, up 11% from last year. Payments from the Agriculture Risk Coverage and Price Loss Coverage programs are forecast to decline, with lower payments anticipated for both programs. The Dairy Margin Coverage Program is forecast to pay $100 million in 2024. That's $1 billion less than 2023. Back with more after this.
Get ready for the 62nd Annual Farm Science Review, September 17th, 18th, and 19th. It's more than a farm show. Explore over 600 exhibitors across 2.6 million square feet, providing equipment, services, and education for farms of all types and sizes. Tickets can be purchased at participating OSU Extension offices and agribusinesses, as well as online. Visit fsr.osu.edu to buy your Farm Science Review tickets now and plan your show visit. We look forward to seeing you at the 62nd Farm Science Review, September 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Soybeans grown in Ohio and across the heartland are meeting the feedstock demand for clean fuels. Biodiesel is a clean-burning and reliable fuel that enhances engine life, power, and mileage. Plus, this high-performance fuel works in any diesel engine without modification. With biodiesel, we fuel the economy, do good for the environment, and support soybean farmers. Learn how using biodiesel can add value to every bushel of soybeans grown at soyohio.org. In other notes, retail fertilizer prices tracked by DTN for the fourth week of August continue to show lower prices. Urea is 14% lower than a year ago. For the sixth week in a row, no fertilizer price showed a substantial move in either direction, and DTN designates a significant move as anything 5% or more. All 8 of the major fertilizers are lower compared to last month, but no fertilizer was down a considerable amount. U.S. producers are frustrated. Fertilizer prices aren't reflecting the multiple year lows in grains as they book their needs for fall, according to the Dow Jones. Time now for the Louis Dreyfus Grain Analysis, brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished weaker note last Friday. As we get started this week, we're looking for a few headlines maybe to change people's minds. But you have to look back at last Friday and understand what's going on there. Macro morning led to a big downturn in the Dow futures and everything else. The September employment report reflected a step down to 142,000 in job creation and the potential of a central bank rate cut to maybe a half a point down. We'll see whether that comes to fruition here in the next few days. The larger rate cut potential spurred commodity fund demand from the micro traders or macro traders, which initially pushed values higher, but then we saw profit taking come in because of a decline in the U.S. dollar. The September jobs report was in the review mirror by the time we got to the afternoon. However, now we're starting to pay attention to the upcoming September crop report that comes on Thursday. Traders are fearing a new record large U.S. corn and soy yield set of numbers. However, corn, I'm not so sure about. Soybeans, the pro farmer number was big, but when you get out there and look at some other surveys, we're staying right about steady with where we have been at this point. So I'm not sure we see big changes in the September crop report. We will see. This is going to be the last one that really takes into account the new crop changes going forward. Funds estimated to have bought about 1,900 contracts of wheat, bought a little corn, but sold big time on the soybean side. The Foreign Ag Service reported a export sales number of 12.5 million bushels of wheat for the week, 52.5 million bushels of beans, and almost 65 million bushels of corn. Growing concern that Mexico will again try to restrict GMO corn imports. The Mexican Senate is debating and likely will pass a bill this week that limits GMO corn imports. So lots of things in the marketplace. I think we're due for a bounce. We'll see. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. I'll have the overnight grain figures after this. Get the equipment and trucks you need at Richie Brothers' next Great Lakes Regional event on September 18th, 19th, and 20th. This absolute unreserved auction will feature online bidding. Items are located in Columbus, Chicago, and Detroit. Choose from over 6,600 items, including a wide selection of construction equipment, truck tractors, and more. Don't miss Richie Brothers' Great Lakes Regional event on September 18th, 19th, and 20th. For more details, visit rbauction.com. Again, that's rbauction.com.
Who wants them? Your health and safety are of the highest importance to your friends at the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation. That's why creating safe work environments in agriculture has never been easier. BWC's free safety consulting services provide training and education for everyone in your work family. It's always a good time to make safety a priority. Visit bwc.ohio.gov and click on Safety Services or call 1-800-644-6292. The Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation has the safety resources you need.
Today's markets are brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. As we turn to the overnight, December corn down a half a cent at $4.05 3/4. Next March down a half at $4.24. The November soybeans are $10.07 3/4, up 2 3/4. March $10.39 1/4, also up 2 3/4. Next July wheat $6 1/4, down 2 3/4. Next September carry that wheat out. You're at $6.12 and down 3 cents. In livestock, October cattle yesterday closed down $2.07 at $175.17. December $174.70, down $2.02. The October lean hogs $79.50, down $1.20. December lean hogs $71.22, down $82. October feeder cattle $230.95, down $3.62. The November feeder cattle $228.02, down $3.65. October Class 3 milk this morning is trading up 8 cents, bringing it to $22.92. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, everyone. I'm Dale Minyo. This is the Ohio AgNet.